Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to the webinar on legal RSS, where we're going to show you the benefits of our system, how very easy it is to import content onto your website and for your e-newsletters and all that sort of things, and social networking, to manipulate it, to redistribute it, and how all this can be done very, very quickly. And we're going to be doing that as far as the web content goes anyway, with the assistance of this website here, which is just a little, what we call our playground website that we knocked up so that people could have a play and see how quick it is. Now you can see this website has news feeds going on to different types of material. It's going onto this website in different places. One of the principles of the LegalRSS system is that it allows you very quickly to put content of the appropriate sort on the appropriate page. So you would have your employment law, for example, on your employment law page, family law on the family law page. People don't see things that don't interest them. And then the standard presentation would be that it would have your logo here. This is a little logo I've added elsewhere, which I can add one up there or down here. I'll show you that in the co-branding, with no styling attached. So this is the bare thing without any styling attached, and it contains a subscribe to our newsletter, social networking, and a print button. Absolutely standard stuff. Now, the login that you would see when you log into the system is this. On the left-hand side, it shows you, this is under the News Feeds tab, by the way, the available material that you have. To give you, by way of example of the issue here, that you have all of this material, which is not available under the subscription. So as you can see, this is only getting a very small proportion of the material we're creating. We're doing, incidentally, between the LegalRSS service and the related Words for Business service, which I'll show you in a moment, we're doing a thick end of 2,000 items a year. And the way you get material onto a website like this one is that you create a news feed. So to create a news feed, you just click the Add Custom Feed tab, and you'll notice that this tab is underneath a Watch the Help video. Every page has its own help video attached, so if you get a bit confused, you can click on that, and bingo, here's the help video, which tells you how to do what's on that page. They're in MyInfonet branded because MyInfonet is the engine that we built to drive this. And also you can add banners. You notice that item that we had a banner on it, a small banner underneath the big banner. Well, for example, we've pushed this banner at the top. The next time you see this, it will be at the bottom. Or we can just delete it. So you can co-brand material as well. Actually, at the moment, I'm going to remove that banner so that you won't see it at all. Right, so we're going to create a news feed now. We want to create a news feed for a particular type of content to put on a particular web page. So what we do is we click the Add Custom Feed button. Okay, and it throws up this screen. And all we have to do to create a new news feed is give the new news feed a name, which we're going to call New News Feed, and we could put any content we want in it. So in this one's going to have res prop, and landlord and tenant only. We're going to limit it to showing 5 articles, and we create the feed. And to add that to your web page, all you have to do, you can see we've created it down here. It exists, the new newsfeed exists. All you have to do to add that to your web page is cut and paste that onto the website. It will pick up the styling, which you put in elsewhere in the system, and it will display that, and it will be kept constantly updated with content. If you don't want to use a JavaScript, you can use atom feeds by copying that in, an RSS feed for copying that in, or if you want to use an XML, just change the file suffix to XML. So that's created a newsfeed, and I want to show you how these actually work. So let's go back to our other site here, the demo site, and you see we've got this private client material here that's being fed by the system. And I want to show you how really easy it is to change. So I'm going to go back to the LegalRSS system. That feed there is fed by this news feed. So we're going to edit that, and we're going to change the content that's in it. So just so that you can see that it's obvious, I'm going to take all the content that's in it out, and instead I'm going to put in business news and agriculture and maybe some employment law. Still going to limit the number of articles to 6, and I'm going to update that. Now if we go back to that page again and refresh the screen, you can see that all of the content is now changed. It's that simple and that easy to change the material. And as you can see, from the 20th of February, there are already, 6 or 7 articles in there. So you can change things just on the fly, really, really simply. So that's news feeds. That's how you operate that on your website. You can give those news feeds to anybody. So if your local Chamber of Trade will take your employment law, or your accountants will share content with you, you can give that to them. And that's an extremely easy and very powerful way to get your brand in front of people. Now, of course, you're going to want to have your own content. So in order to have your own content, you have to create some of your own categories to give it to. And as you can see, I've created one called LawNet here and one called UNTET 2. And this is sample 3. We're going to create one called sample 3. It could be, what we say about what's happening local, anything you want. So you can give these any name. So we're going to create a category called sample. The author profile, I won't show you today, but it's a way of tying profiles of your people to content so that people know who to talk to. Personalization of content. Passwords, very little used. It's only if you want to have something which sits behind a password. You have to know the password to look at it. So we've created this category called sample, which now means if we create articles, we can allocate them to the category called sample, for example. So here are the categories that we've got available for our content. And we're going to call this article Too Many Articles. Aren't like this. And I've just happened to have some content to hand, I think, which I can copy. Yep. I'm going to copy this article, this content, into that. So imagine we've written this item. And what you have to do is tell it when to be published, the author profile. Remember I mentioned a moment ago you can pick up, and we just put the content in there. If you want to add a picture, we'd have to work on the spacing, I think, of this a little bit. If we want to add a picture of somebody, we go to the picture library. As you can see, this subscription has 1,763 pictures. These are our pictures, and they belong to us. And we're going to take the ones marked as commercial litigation. There we are. And we're going to add a nice picture of, I don't know, of that coaster. So there we are. Put the nice picture in. This could be a picture of one of your people. Could be a picture of anything you like. Set it up on the left, and you'll see that the text wraps around it. If this page subscription was connected to social networking, there would be a tick box here saying, do you want to social network this? And if you do that, it will allow you to social network it to Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or through integration with the Buffer social media engine, it will allow you to do a lot more than that. But in addition, with LinkedIn, it allows you to tick through to individual LinkedIn groups. So you can very highly target the social distribution of your material. Now, maybe you want to create something which you attach a file to for downloading. So we're going to attach a file from the webinar file. Here we're going to go. We're going to attach a file which people can download. And the file we're going to attach is actually the user manual of LegalRSS. That'll take a while to load because it's a 36-page document, but there it is. You can add as many files as you want. And what it will do is we'll add at the bottom of this article, download the file. And if you want to gather information about what people, about who's downloaded it, you tick the squeeze page box, and that will throw up a box before the download happens saying, give us this information. Sniply I'll show you some other time. You can add a contact us button in the article, and if you do, you have to tell it what the success message is. And you can enable a subscription list, and if you do that, you can create a subscription list. And what this will do is it will create an email group which is separately able to be emailed with content. So you can actually dice and slice, you can segment your subscriber base. If we add that article now, so I click add article, we have to categorize it. So we're going to categorize it as sample. Now we can add it. And what it will then do is it will allow us to, I forgot to do that. It will allow us, let me just close this box. It's created the article now, and it will allow us to add this to a news feed. So we've got this article called Too Many Articles Aren't Like This. We've already arranged for it to be social networked as soon as it's published. So what we need to do now is add it to a news feed. So what we're going to do is go back to that private client news feed. Okay, it's in the sample category. So all we have to do is tick that and update the feed. And now anything that runs from the sample category will automatically run into that news feed. Proof of the pudding. Here is this. This, as you will recall, is the one we were working on. And when we refresh that, we have the article called Too Many Articles Aren't Like This. And there it is. Okay? So that's extremely easy to do as well. The next thing I want to show you is the All Articles tab. This is where your material that you put in is available. You can see the one we've just created is there. And the material that we're providing is available also. So this subscription has 3,940 articles. Articles are searchable by category or by text string. So what you can do is, if we provide an article like this one on contract arbitrations, you can edit it if you want to add personal bits. You obviously can cut and paste it out. You can add contact us buttons and so on. You can make it point to a subscription list for segmenting your newsletters. But if you're quite happy with that as it is, if you don't want it at all, you can hide it from the feed. But you might want to use it off-site for a newsletter or a magazine article or something like that. In which case, what you would do is you tick the ones you want, and you click Export Selected, and it creates a file which you can either save, which is a text file, or you can open and perhaps pop it into Word. Now, if you want to do these of a particular type, say you want commercial property items, you would click on that, and now we have the commercial property articles. So it's a very quick and easy way to download content which is specific to what you want. While we're here, I'm going to show you the Words for Business service, which is a pure content service. This is stuff that's designed to be used on the page, on newsletters, for blogging, and is sort of slightly longer web content. And this is categorized by commercial property, commercial, employment, PI and CLIN neg, private client, tax trust, and probate. So for example, here's the commercial service. The way this works is quite different. What you do here to get the content is you view the article and you download. You see we've added it as an attachment in exactly the same way we did on the article we did before. And we open that, and here it is in Word. So we've got this as a Word document where it's categorized for you and it's downloaded as one large document. We put strap lines on it so that you can drop people's names in and you can edit it to your heart's content. This is a typical 1 month's commercial client material, and you download it and it's designed to be used and edited as opposed to fed as a news feed. I'm not going to show you the mobile website generator today, but suffice it to say you can create mobile websites on the fly, and each has its own QR code. They are automatically content managed. They all have their own data analysis and so on. Under the Settings tab, just a couple of things to look out for. You add your images there. You remember I showed you the squeeze page? Well, this is where you tell the squeeze page what information you want. Click that, click Save, it's changed. This is where you integrate with Buffer for your social networking. And if you integrate with Buffer for your social networking, when you create an article, as you will recall, a social network button will appear there, and if you click that, it will automatically social network. The other bit, important bit of settings is down here, where you set up the image that you're going to use in your email engine and for content, and here is where you customize the look of your material by adding a style sheet, a CSS style sheet they're called. So that's all very straightforward. You can have multiple users on your website. So you want to add a new user, you add the new user, you give them an email address, and you give them a function. Now, an administrator can run all of this for you. An author can receive material, an author can contribute material and will only see what's under the Articles tab. An editor can receive material, can send it back to the author for redrafting, or can publish it or edit it. And what this allows you to do is invite other people to contribute content to your website, which you then curate. And what happens when they do is the Submitted Articles tab would click up to 1. You'd get an email telling you it was there. And then when you edit it, you'd be able to either publish it or reject it. If you reject it, their screen would show that they have an article which requires resubmission, and their submitted articles would go down by 1. If you approve it, that will go down by 1, and that will go up by 1. If I get a chance, I'll show you that at the end in real life, because we actually use this system for driving the content into LegalRSS. Last but not least, I want to show you how easy it is to do newsletters. To do a new newsletter, first of all, you segment by the way of lists. So these are the newsletters we're offering. So we're creating a newsletter called New, and we're allowing it to link with these categories. This will make perfect sense in just a minute. Okay? So we saved that. We now have a new newsletter called Newer, and we've created that, and there it is. We have a new list. So when we go to our newsletter, we can now create a new newsletter, which we're going to call LegalRSS Playground March 22. This bit is default, but it will not allow you to create a newsletter with the same name as a previous one. The subscription list we're going to use is going to be a subscription list that we've created there. Okay. And what we're going to do is create the e-newsletter. We have some intro text that we can add, and you'll notice that when you click Save Changes, it's there in real time. It will pick up the person's name if the system knows it, and if it doesn't, it will say Dear Subscriber. So what content are we going to have? Well, here's the one we just created. We could have that one, because we quite liked that one, didn't we? But say we want to have mainly, I don't know, commercial property. So here are now the commercial property items. We're going to add a few of these in. And now there they are with the relevant pictures. So we've now got a newsletter. We've got some pictures. If we want to change the order of the articles, we'll do that. And now you can see the articles have changed. And if you want then to add a footer comment like call us, you can add that. Call us, and then like that, nice and bold, nice and big, and nice and central. And there it is. Now, you can also add banners. That's a banner in effect. And you can add banners by adding a banner is just a logo or something like that which you add, and there's that one. So I've added the LegalRSS, the Words for Business one, and if I save that, then when we go back to the e-newsletter, this will take a minute. It's got to go ask the system to have it again, so this will take a minute to load, but there it is, and it's now got a Words for Business banner across. So you can co-brand newsletters as well. So for the sake of argument, if you're running a seminar with somebody else, you can co-brand it. You can also put a tower banner here. But if you're happy with all that, you just click Send Preview. It'll send you a preview of the thing. You decide you like it, and you click Send. And it will then run it into Fusion Express, which is actually the same as Campaign Monitor, and you have all the data from that. And once you've sent it, it will update the newsletter campaigns, and you'll be able to go into the system and view your reports. That's the login to your data. I'm just going to show you very quickly, I'm going to take this away now, I'm going to show you very quickly what the system looks like when we're using it. So we're now back on the LegalRSS system, and as you can see, this is where we run your sites. So we can create categories which we allow you to have, and images. Partners allows you to tie different websites together so that you can share content between them. The subscriptions is our client base. The sites allows us to tie individual websites across to the content, which means we can share individual items. And articles is where, so for example, to show you how that goes to another site, if I want to copy that onto any of these websites, I just do that, and that item will drop across. To show you how we use the articles, we have at the moment 13 articles from our court reporters that are awaiting editing. So what we would do is we would edit this article, and then when you will have exactly the same system. You give it some categories over here, and when you click Save, it then gives you the opportunity to approve it or reject it. And it is all updated appropriately. As you can see, the system has 6,095 articles in it. So that's very substantial. And the other thing I want to show you is when you create an article, because you would have this system is linked to social networking. So when you create an article in this system, you can see what it does for you. It allows you to publish to social profiles, and you tick the boxes of the ones you want. So this one would go to my Google Plus page, my Twitter page, and so on. Last but not least, and you can also have this, is you can add banners. You've seen a few banners now. You can add a banner, and the way it adds banners is it allows you to pull in an image. So bingo, there's the Word for Business one. Put the link into it, and you can then position the banner. You remember when we started, we had that little banner at the top. Okay, you can position the banner on feeds. So we could have this one going to the My Custom feed would now have this banner at the bottom, the Words for Business banner. Or you can take it right down to individual categories. That would go to Immigration and In Court Today categories. So you can in a very sophisticated way, you can co-brand material. So that's it. What the system does, just to recap, it gives you very large amounts of content. The full library here contains something like 18,000 articles now. It gives you a full image library. This one has 1,954. There's something over 2,000 in there. And you can edit that on the fly. It gives you the ability to create as much of your own content as you want and turn it into news feeds and instantly social network it and almost instantly create e-newsletters out of it and also create targeted mobile websites. It has sophisticated co-branding, sophisticated content sharing, and quite sophisticated social media management as well. Thank you for attending. If you want to know more about LegalRSS or Words for Business, go to our websites, legalrss.uk or wordsforbusiness.com, or give us a call on 01392 423 607. Thank you for your time.